Hi and welcome back to part two for the video blog. Today you're gonna get to see some different stuff, which is normally not part of the training camp. We're gonna do a photo shoot for fitnesscenter.com, which is a website that I have as well, and we're gonna do a photo shoot with a really good photographer named Travis McCoy, and we're gonna see another Swedish model that's gonna be part of it, and another American fitness model as well that's gonna be in there. And then later on, we're going to go up to Hollywood, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and do some training with Waldo Zapata, and continue working on Jiu-Jitsu and wrestling. That's what you're going to get to see today.
I'm too sexy for my love, too sexy for my love, love's going to leave.
I went to the University of Kent in England, in Canterbury, just outside London. I studied industrial relations with human resource management. After I did that, I moved down to Mexico. I lived in Mexico for a couple of years. I wanted to continue fighting, I wanted to continue boxing down there. It was either Cuba or Mexico. I had a connection through my family, through my dad in Mexico, so I moved down to Mexico without speaking the language at the time. And you know, the best boxers around my weight, especially back then, were Mexicans. So I continued down there boxing and kickboxing. So I fought both boxing and kickboxing in Mexico. Turned pro in kickboxing down there. Fought for a world title, and I won a world title in Mexico, which a world title is a world title, but at the same time I don't consider myself a world champion in kickboxing at all, because there's so many organizations, and I know I hadn't faced the best in kickboxing when I won that title. So maybe a national title, but in no means do I consider myself a world champion kickboxer. But it was a great experience, and after that I moved to the United States. I've lived here in Los Angeles for almost 10 years. I came here and I also did my master's down here in sports management. So for you that think or thought I didn't go to school, I did. See? Turn right. I'm still not good at geography. Sure. We're here at, I think it's called Peak Performance. Last tune-up before the fight. Going to see Andy Pritkin, my biggest enemy, my biggest opponent. He gets me to tap out every single time. I'm in so much pain. Oh, this is it, I think. It's the next one. This is it. So sorry, mate. This is him, my biggest opponent.
Hi, how are you?
He gets me to tap out a lot.
I try my best.
Alright, last tune-up before the fight.
I'm a doctor of physical therapy. My name's Andrew Pritkin, and I work with people who want to work hard. Massage feels nice. What I do does not necessarily feel nice. I work with a lot of fighters, and so I know they can take a very high tolerance of pain, and they have good thresholds, so I will take them to their maximum, because we need to get them out there quick. They get hurt during training, they get hurt before a fight, and that's the last thing you want to think about before you go into that ring. So my job is to make sure that everything is minimized so that he's at his peak position and peak performance before he gets in there. So what we do is we basically go from head to toe, and we make sure everything is working like it should to the best of the ability. Now, I don't want to give away too many of your previous injuries.
Appreciate that.
But he has had a few, so I gotta just go ahead and check.
Now it feels good. It's like the pre-fight locker room stuff. I know it's gonna get a lot more painful in a bit. And he's got really strong hands, and it gets pretty painful after a while. Like right now.
It's called the subscapularis release. I'm sorry. Yeah, subscapularis. So I'm going into the muscle on the front side of the shoulder blade in between the ribs. Now, most masseuses won't do this because they work off tips. I don't, and I don't care. But it will help with the range of motion of that shoulder, especially if you get into a lock. I could do it on you, see what it's like. What I'm doing is using my fingers like this, in between the ribs and the shoulder blade, and going into the muscle. So right now I'm taking it easy on them. This makes it much harder. Doing the psoas on the other side is a little tighter, but we have our liver right here. And interesting thing is, if you hit the liver very hard, actually you don't even need to hit it that hard. The way the nerves are connected to the spinal cord is an automatic reaction of the legs will give out. So if you hit somebody in the liver shot, their legs will give out on them and they'll be forced to fall. They won't have a choice in the matter. It's just the way it is. It's going to hurt and they're going to go down. And so a good liver shot, you'll see it in boxing frequently. And if you know how to hit and where to hit, that's all you need. Actually, the same thing that occurs with a solar plexus right there. About the size of a quarter, but don't care how big you are, how strong you are, it doesn't matter. If I can hit you right there, again about the size of a quarter, if I can hit you right there, it's the central nervous system area, like kind of like a bus station where all the nerves meet, and it regulates the breathing cycle. So if I could punch you there, what it's going to do is going to overload the system and shock it so that it disrupts the breathing rhythm. So you'll breathe out, but you can't breathe back in. And so you got them for a good 3, 5, 7 seconds of them not being able to breathe. Basically, it's called getting the wind knocked out of you. And don't care how big you are. Done it to big guys where you just punch them right there and they go down. And that's just the way it is. Again, another little point on the body. Same thing if you punch somebody in the armpit. In the armpit, there's a bunch of what's called lymph nodes. And the lymph nodes are very, very sensitive. You have them here too. And along up here, you can't get to them. But in the armpit, punch somebody there, I don't care. I've seen football players go down. Just boom. Uppercut in the armpit, it hurts a lot. And not very fun. Alright, leg straight.
Programmet presenteras av BMR.com.